and welcome to day 3 of our Parade of One-Shots. You're here watching us live. You're amazing. Love you so much. You're watching the VOD after, watching YouTube video that goes up on our channel. We also love you, but not quite as much. You're not supposed to pick favorites, but we do. It's the people who come watch us live. Anyways, we are playing some Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, going back to my roots a little, and having a nice continuation of the one shot we had on Wednesday of the Into the Skies kind of one shot series. We do have a different cast and crew today, and we'll get to them in a second. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a little bit of backstory before we get into it. We will be starting the fantasy city of Baymore. So not quite war-torn, but certainly war-tense nation of Ayrean. Last one-shot that you hopefully saw had a group of adventurers being hired to guard some suspicious crates. We're heading off to one of the border cities. Trip didn't go quite as planned, but I'll not spoil anything just in case you haven't seen it. Thank you, everyone that's followed so far. You're amazing. And without without much delay, since we're starting a few minutes later than I wanted to, I'll hop in and give the cast a chance to introduce themselves.
Are we doing this in any specific order?
We'll just because I'm weird, we'll run counterclockwise from stream at the moment, and we'll start with Steve.
All right. Hello there. I am Steve. You may have caught me on a few channels like Weave the Tale and Mimics Monstrosities. Yeah, really excited to play on an airship where I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Absolutely not. How could it? All right, and we'll keep going that counterclockwise down to Aya.
Hello, I am Aya. I'm a radio broadcasting student, adorable as all heck, and I love puns, and I'm very excited to be here with you all. I'm also very new to this, so go easy on me.
Heck yeah, aren't we all? And then over to the big burly guy down there, Rob.
Yes. Oh man, I'm glad other people went first. Now I know what to say. I'm Rob, RPG theologian on Twitter. I am found usually most Friday mornings at Black Dragon Roleplay. Look for the big Black Dragon Eye logo, where we play D&D 5e, and I am excited to play with this crew right now. Got a awesome group of folks that we're going to be playing with, and I cannot wait to see what happens. We're delivering some cargo. Nothing. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Everything's fine.
It's gonna be just a totally easy job. And last but certainly not least, Kane.
Hi, I am Kane. I primarily do homebrew content. Got a few things published on the DM's Guild. But yeah, this is going to be a fun time, and I'm excited to be playing with everyone.
Yeah. Get in. So, the cityscape in front of you. Beautiful mountain city of Baymore. A fairly peaceful, idyllic monarch city. Ruling family, mostly keeps to themselves, as you can do in a city that can really only be either reached by airships or weeks upon weeks of ground travel. Not quite the center of trade that some of the other mountain cities in the area are, but definitely a nice, idyllic, restful location for nobles or for business owners on vacation, for anyone that just wants a weekend away. Fortunately, the four of you aren't quite so lucky as to get, as through various means, we're all gathered for, well, what really boils down to guard duty. Whether or not you've been on an airship before, that's what you're doing today. You're looking at about a 2-week journey through the sky, guarding some kind of cargo. Honestly, they didn't tell you what it was. None of you have seen it, and I guess I can't say whether or not any of you care, but they don't particularly care if you care. You're getting paid, and that's good enough for them. Your contact, the quartermaster, a half-orc male by the name of Orla Hambertone, put out the word to some of his former military friends, for anyone that was rough and tumble, able to handle a punch, able to hold themselves in a fight, and, didn't mind not asking too many questions. Certainly aren't the only ones that were for this, but not many. Night before, all of you are expected to load the ship and meet the rest of your crew, meet the other pair of mercenaries, meet the captain himself. You're all rooms paid for, staying at the Shady Pine Inn. Meals are on the house, drinks are on the house. Give you guys a chance to roll the dice for the first time, and would all of you roll a d20 for me?
Okay.
First dice rolls of the game, no big deal. Love those 3D dice so far. Oh, dang it. Did that thing where it makes all your names empty.
I was wondering, who is empty?
Not my soul, I promise.
I think if you click your character and then roll
Yeah.
the dice, it should attach your name to it. But
Gotcha.
who are the pair that rolled
Here
the
we go.
13s?
Victoria did.
I also rolled a 13.
Okay. Which one of you has the higher... Let's go with charisma score.
Charisma.
Victoria has a charisma score of 16.
I have 12.
All right. Then Victoria, as the night before the big job is here, you probably have, an hour or so before you really hit the sack and get some sleep for tomorrow. Why don't you give us a description of yourself and tell us what Victoria's doing?
All right. So, Victoria is kind of a strange figure. At first glance, she looks human, dressed in fairly well kept dark leather armor, a fine cloak across her back with a hood up almost always, short swords and daggers at her side. On closer inspection, she looks a little off. Her skin is has a weird gray pallor to it, and anytime her her skin is kind of exposed to other folks' vision, there's the you tend to catch the sight of stitches across her body. And funnily enough, she doesn't necessarily need to sleep. She just trance is almost like an elf, and she's mostly seeing to her weapons, uh, just wondering what tomorrow might bring.
Okay. You're just kind of sitting down in the main tavern area, minding your own business.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. And then we'll jump over to Timberlight and give us a quick description and let us know what you're doing for the evening.
So, you would see a quite tall man. He's got quite kind of like a glitter to his skin. His hair is solid, like raw diamond. And on close inspection, you can see that he also has little freckles that are also diamonds that are there in his earth ganassi skin. You'd probably find him either by the window in his room, looking out into the stars, or out on deck, just laying down and looking up.
And then we'll drop down to roll the 4.
I did.
So give us a brief description of Valka and the heck she's doing this evening.
Valka, as you can pretty much see, is a redheaded elven girl with, well, you can tell that she's elven despite the fact that the tips of her ears are cut. That is a little strange, but she kind of keeps it as hidden as she can in the bob of her red hair. She is currently the entertainment for the night, so to the point where she is the one singing and playing the lute in the bar, and it's not really obvious that she is coming with you, but she is.
Okay. You want to give us a quick performance check?
Sure. I don't know how to do that with this thing. I'm sorry.
Fine. If you open your character sheet and just go to the skills there and click performance, it should either give you a pop-up and ask if you want to roll with advantage.
I believe I have advantage, so I will roll with.
Yeah, go for it.
Whoop.
22. Really? Do you want to describe the music that Valka's putting out right now?
She's singing an enthusiastic and encouraging song about guards who found a conspiracy to attack them and how bravely they fought to protect not only their cargo but the people aboard the ship who were not part of the conspiracy.
Action-packed and intriguing song. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then down at that lonely 3.
Yes. Archan. Not the most charismatic, to be sure. But I imagine with Volka, he doesn't know. Not knowing that Volka is part of the team going on the ship the next day, he starts kind of beating his feet and clapping his hands against the table to the song that's being played, rolling some dice. Archan is a, I should say, silver dragonborn, stands about probably half a head taller than most, if not all, in the bar. Sword on his one hip, shield on his back, and he just starts singing off key along with Volka.
Would you like to give us a performance check?
Yes, I can do that. Let's see. Okay. An 8.
I mean, to all of the drunk sailors and patrons around you, it's not bad. I mean, thankfully, Volka is a little louder and singing a little more clear, but still having a wonderful time, and everyone else is just vibing. Um, before we kind of jump into the following evening, I think some of you had talked about knowing each other beforehand.
I
We had
believe
definitely
so.
stated that some of us would have been just like have met before once
Yeah.
to agree to working together.
Yeah,
Perfect.
as I think probably the way it worked out is that, as a former soldier, Arjan would have known the quartermaster
Mhm.
and would have helped get the word out, and so probably met Victoria at least, maybe Victoria, maybe Kimberlite, caught Volca in passing, but I don't know. He's probably he's a few sheets to the wind at this point, Arjan. He's a hard drinking former soldier, so
Love it.
he sees a performer, doesn't recognize that it's somebody that he hired.
All right. And unless there's anything that anyone would like to do for the evening before hitting the sack,
Other than Valka would like to wish everyone good luck and safe voyage. That's about it.
gotcha. All right. Night is fairly uneventful. What is everyone's passive perception?
Passive perception. For Victoria, it's 12.
Gotcha.
Where would I find that on this sheet?
It is your perception proficiency bonus plus 10.
Oh, in which case it is 15.
Gonna be an 18 for Arjan.
Oh, dang.
So it's proficiency plus whatever I have for the. If I have perception checked.
Yeah, it should be 10 plus proficiency plus or minus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
Yeah.
Okay, so 15.
So yeah, Tarzan, in the middle of the night, as you maybe sleeping off some of the drinks you have, there is this odd sound coming from outside the outside your room window in the direction of. It sounds like not quite a crowd, but just a group of voices that are maybe shouting or talking a little louder than they should be for like 2 a.m.
Yeah, he would definitely, I think, at first kind of shake it off, and then as it keeps going, because he's trying to get as much sleep as he can. He had a fun night the night before, but he knows he has to go into work the next day. He would open his window and stick his head out and then bark at, this crowd. Hey, some of us are trying to sleep up here.
There's like this here, a few of them jump at the sudden barking voice, and then one of them calls up. Yeah, so sorry about that. Just, dealing with some overly drunk friends, you know how it is. And you see about half a dozen figures out in the barely lit street right outside the tavern.
Well, best keep it down lest the city guard get called upon you.
Yeah, no worries. We're on our way. They'll quickly disperse.
Yeah, and Arjan would And without even seeing them disperse, he would lower the window and go back to bed.
All right. Okay, then. Well, rest of the night, uneventful for the rest of you. Short for some of you that only need a couple hours. In fact, those of you that only need 4 hours of sleep are actually welcome to board the ship a little early. You're welcome to wait for the rest of the marks to wake up. It's up to you.
I think boarding the ship early and getting a head start would be a very good idea for Valka.
Victoria as well.
All right. So then, following morning, the pair of you are up and maybe catch each other heading downstairs out of the tavern.
I would assume you are getting a head start as well.
I think it's best to be prepared in case anything happens, yes.
I would agree. I don't suppose you've heard anything about what we might be guarding on this venture.
The only thing I've heard is that it's not something we're supposed to know. Makes it even more difficult to know what you're supposed to be guarding if they're not going to tell you.
That's a fair point. Well, what would engender such secrecy?
I just hope that it's not people.
I would definitely agree with that sentiment.
And the pair of you, your early morning walk, sun is still probably a good hour from even fully rising. Cool mountain air. Yeah, like elemental bubble that surrounds the city keeps one of the harsher winds and temperatures away, but it still likes to let a nice cool breeze through. Ship reach the air docks is just this massive dark oak vessel with arcane propellers on the back and on the bottom that help lift. Few sails jutting off the sides, one massive sail up top to help catch winds and, take a little strain off of it. You guys are so early that, in fact, you've beaten most of the only figures you see on board are your half-orc contact, just seems to be standing and going over some last-minute preparations, doing counts of supplies, and has just a skeleton crew of sailors with.
Permission to come aboard?
Just looks at pair of you, looks out at the skyline. We're not taking off for another good couple of hours.
I am well aware, but early to bed and early to rise makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Well, I don't know about being any of those things. I've been waking up early my whole life, and, well, look at me.
Fair point.
Well, you're obviously not a woman, so it doesn't apply to you, does it?
Great point. Anyways, if you two want to give us a hand, we're just doing some last-minute counts. Doing some last-minute preparations, checking the sails. I think the captain's still snoring away in his cabin, so, try not to bug him. But other than that, your quarters are down below with the rest of the crew. Feel free to go get set up, and if I can't put you to work.
As you wish.
So that means no rousing songs about work For fear of waking the captain? All right.
Unless you want to explain to the captain why he got woken up so dang early.
I will help where I can.
And yeah, I was looking forward to rousing Shanty.
Maybe once we get going, crew might actually appreciate that.
Fair enough.
Then, since you two are already on board, I will give you the first pick of chores that you can attend to get the ship going. You have reading of sails, you have just hauling of supplies, and help with the checklist, or anything that you think of off the top of your head that might be helpful.
I would say Victoria would likely be helping with the sails. She's fairly good at handling herself aloft, as it were.
Perfect. Then I'll take an acrobatics or athletics check from you.
Let's go with acrobatics.
Alright. Oh, prefers athletics. Strange.
Well, acrobatics.
Or acrobatics, I meant. You
Yeah.
know what I meant.
Yeah. Of course.
I mean, has Victoria ever been on a ship like this before?
Not been on. She's been on, like, actual, like, tall ships, but a ship like this is probably fairly new to her.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Luckily, there are other crew members around that, as you start going to rigging, as, someone's explaining what to do, the rope just starts to quickly slip out of your hands, grab it, and you can feel, like, that rope burn starting to just build up in your hands before there's two other pairs that quickly run, grab onto the rope, and a third body that just grabs onto the pile and helps pull it back down. The individual that kind of like grabbed onto you to help keep you not just get launched into the air, helps you get planted down and just gives you a maybe little harder pat onto the shoulder than they meant to. Gonna be all right. That sail almost just took you for a ride.
Yeah, it's just, something to get used to. Not entirely used to this particular configuration.
No worries. You stick by me. I'll make sure you don't get thrown off the edge of the ship.
Fair enough. Smarts.
Name's Leaf, by the way.
Victoria Stitch. Pleasure.
And Valka. What's your contribution to the ship?
Oh, she'll probably help carry things.
Perfect. I'll take athletics check or athletics or acrobatics. We'll go either way.
I have neither, so I'll go with just plain rolling, I guess.
All right.
Aw.
Looks like your dex is a +4, so at least makes it a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're competing with these sailors who have probably spent most of their lives on a ship and just have more muscles than they know what to do with, tattoos across their bodies, scars everywhere. And
Valka's tiny, but she's trying to help. She's doing her best.
oh yeah, I mean, they can clearly see that with some of the heavier stuff, you're struggling, but still just powering through. Just get like these approving nods of like, all right, maybe I misjudged at first sight, but this marks, not bad. And then we'll switch over to the two that needed the full 8 hours of sleep, which we could only all be quite so lucky. Arzan, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, I imagine he's again, he's used to the hard drinking life as a soldier. Tried not to get too crazy, though he got a few sheets to the wind the night before. So maybe a bit groggy, but he's still up with the sun rising. Just out of habit. His body just kind of wakes him up, as it were.
If you want, you can make a Constitution save. If not, don't
Happy
worry
to
about
do
it.
that, actually. That
Oof.
is a 2 for a 7. He is hungover.
Little
He's
bit.
used to it.
Little bit of a headache going on there. Little bit of nausea, but maybe just a quick pit stop in the kitchen for greasy food, something to stuff into your belly, and right is right.
Oh yeah, and probably a shot.
Oh yeah.
He's having a quick drink on top of everything else, just to help kind of clear the air, as it were.
Kimberlite, as you are up and headed downstairs and on your way to the ship, you do the Silver Dragonborn, who was a little boisterous and loud the night before at the bar, just down in a single shot.
Head in his hands, kind of.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's holding one. He's leaning a little bit, and then he does the shot, throws it back, shakes his head a bit. Maybe a spark of, you see what looks, can't quite tell if it's a spark or a flame or something, some sort of energy shoots out of his mouth a little bit as he coughs. And then you see him apologizing to the bartender. My bad.
Halfling behind the bar that has just a series of stools kind of lined up on the bar so he can get up to eye level. Don't even worry about it. Far from the strangest thing that we've seen this week.
Probably not the first time you had that happen anyway, right?
Dragonborn, surprisingly common around here.
Well. And there are plenty of us going around, different colors, different shades and types.
Yeah, with the rumors of war on the horizon, I'm not surprised.
Oh. One could hope not. Seen enough war in my time. Don't think we need another one anytime soon, but see what happens.
I have to agree with the Dragonborn on that. No need for any more wars.
Well, good morning. Yeah. So,
This
you know the
morning.
mercs heading out already? Bunch of early risers.
Oh, and I thought I got up early.
Oh. Perhaps they're just built different.
Well said, well said.
Yes. Like, Kimberlite would probably grab a quick breakfast before heading out to the ship himself.
Okay. You guys maybe sit and chat for a minute as drinks are had,
Yeah.
or you,
Oh,
off.
yeah. So, what brings you to town? You going out on the... Wait a minute. I think I recognize you. Didn't I hire you to help with the quartermaster, Orlin?
You did. I was waiting for you to recognize me. Did you have
Not
fun
Orlin,
last night?
I always mispronounce his name. Orla. Ugh, that was a rough night.
Yes. Well, it certainly looks like you're living it up this morning.
Oh, well, I probably had a few too many last night, but, sitting around, drinking with the crews, having a good time, maybe losing a bit of money, making a bit of money here and there, throwing the dice. You get to have a good
Yes.
time, and didn't help that there was some scuffle outside my window last night.
Really?
Yeah, it woke
Didn't
me
hear
up.
it. That certainly wouldn't have helped the headache.
Nope, but this does. And he would have probably ordered another drink. This time, probably a watered down ale, just to add to the hair of the dog that he's working with.
Good old Elven brew.
Exactly. Good dragonborn breakfast right here.
Yes. Well, if it works, it works.
Not always, but you feel, I'll get over it.
Maybe don't recover quite as well as you used to back in your younger years, but you'll be fine.
Yep.
All right. Well, the pair of you eventually head off into the warming morning air. Not quite as brisk and cold the other pair felt, but you're still up before much of this. There are people, hauling carts around, bringing in supplies for early morning openings, the restaurants, the cafes, stalls that like to hit that early crowd. Or on your way to the docks, see the same massive galleon-esque ship, now with probably all of the crew on hand, helping to repair the ship. First mate is out there. See from this distance, probably human, female, is just doing their best to chew out this sailor without making too much noise. Doesn't seem like the captain is quite up yet. But as you get closer, you kind of catch the tail end of the conversation. Something like, I swear the gods. You drop one more damn crate, shatter one more box of supplies, and we are hanging you from the sails for the entirety of the trip. Do you understand me? The terrified man who's probably a good foot and a half taller, a good 80 pounds heavier, just a look of pure terror in his eyes, and it's just, yes ma'am, understood. And he just runs off to go be away from the first mate at the moment. She just hangs her head and kind of rubs her temples. Oh. Just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and I can take a vacation. Oh. The pair of you would like to do, or are you just hopping in, joining the preparations?
Like, Kimberlite are probably like, you just can't find the help these days.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're a pair of the mercenaries that they hired because our crew is a bunch of worthless bilge rats.
That we are, rather.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to assist you this morning?
Well, you can show some of these useless louts how it's done. You still have inventory to count. I believe some of the crew is still doing the rigging. But honestly, wherever you feel your strengths are, we'll take the help. And she'll hold out her hand. Cloudport, first mate.
Oh. Pleasure to meet you. Kimberlite Brunswick. Takes a hand.
Archan. And and Archan would reach out, probably standing again, at least half a head taller than maybe even Kimberlite. Probably standing chest and head taller than the first mate. Reach out his big scaly hand as gently as possible and shake her hand.
Oh, there's a surprising strength behind the small, now clearly half elf woman. Well, it's good to have a extra set of worthwhile hands on board. You go get set up, and hopefully we'll be taking off here within the hour.
Well, I'll be sure to go give a hand with the rigging. Looks like they could use a good strong hand. And Archan would just march right up the gangplank.
All right. You give me athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Definitely athletics on that one. Let's see, make sure I do. $21.
Very nice. Yeah. Would you say that Arjan has been on a ship like this before?
Oh yeah, I think he's at least done his fair share of sailing, if not as a sailor. He has given a hand where he could when he was shipping off somewhere, here, there, and wherever he had to be deployed as a soldier.
Perfect. Yeah, did you get up to the just numerous sails that they need to be tested, they need to be brought down, inspected, and then rigged back up. Just jump in like it's second nature. And the crew around you just immediately this look of appreciation. They do seem a little more short-staffed than a ship this size would be. And Kimberlite, where do you think you would hop in and help out?
He'd probably help with the kind of like stock take of like the supplies on board.
All right. Then I'll take either investigation or perception. Choice.
We'll go perception because he's good with that. Would it be just normal?
Yep.
I think it'd be normal. There we go. Hey, that's a 9.
Kimberlite's probably very, got a fairly keen eye about things. There's just this, order and formality to everything that definitely takes a minute to get used to. And there's, a point where the first mate comes by, you're checking off the checklist. She just leans in. I don't think we quite have that many crates. Now you should mark it like this, and just kind of gives you a hand and making sure everything's accurate.
Thank you for the assist.
Well, we're gonna be around each other for the next couple of weeks, so we might as well make sure that we all get along.
Yes, that's certainly something that would be quite the help.
All right. Then, doing your various tasks, getting your bunk set up with the rest of the crew. Sun now fully risen on the horizon. The captain finally steps out of his quarters. See just this big, just kind of pot belly of a dwarf. Still, adjusting his belts and his, tricorn hat. He's stepping out onto the deck. And just beams and looks at all the crew out at the ship. Well done. Just amazing work. I have to say, could not be prouder of the effort that everyone has been putting in this morning. First mate, be ready to set sail, or Is the crew lollygagging again? And you see up at the helm, first mate just gives a sigh. Nope, we're good, Captain. All set. Just continues that big beaming smile, looking out at the four of you. Oh, the new help. Don't think that we've had the pleasure to meet yet, but welcome to my ship. Duchess herself. I am Captain Bythewood. Captain Morris Bythewood.
Thank you for having us, Captain. We are more than happy to serve.
Glad to meet you.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Arshan would beat his breast a bit, almost, in form of saloon, say, Captain, Sergeant Arshan, pleasure to meet you.
As well as he can, he returns the brisk salute, though it looks like the years out of his military service haven't been overly kind to him. He marches up to the helm, kind of shouting orders at some of the crew. And you can kind of get the air that while the crew will, obviously jump to whatever he says, there isn't that air of respect that all of them have for the first mate. Once he gets to the helm, and see, some of the dock workers getting ready to unhook the ship from the skyport. If you wanted to play a rousing ballad, that would be your time.
With the permission of the captain. Of course.
Yeah, he just looks at you, gives that still beaming smile, and just gives you a nod.
Alright, so performance like usual?
Yep.
Do I roll with advantage or or normal? Oh my god, I can't remember.
Normal, unless you have anything that gives you advantage on perception.
Do I?
Or
The little check
performance.
mark here gives me advantage, doesn't it? Or does it just give me extra?
The check mark just means you're proficient.
Okay. So just normal.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll even give the crew inspiration here on the first day. As your ballad just rings out through the air. I'd like to describe what it is that you're singing.
Probably a lovely song about going on an adventure, but we will be home soon and we will see the people that we love and care about very soon.
Amazing. And with that, ship suddenly, jolts off to the side and kind of drops down a good 5-10 feet where the engines help stabilize and catch it. Or unhooked from the dock, slowly float off to the mountainside, then begin your ascent into the sky. Send you map.
All right.
Centered. Supposed to have a mod that makes it so when I switch to a map, it automatically centers it, but it's like long image. So, the first day of travel would. Wow. One of you. Roll a d8 for me. I know how to talk.
Happy to do it for everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's
Go for
see, D8. Oh. There we go. Oops. Maybe. We'll see. Got a 3, so.
Yeah. The first day of the journey, that everyone's still filled with that excited energy of getting into the sky. In fact, most of the sailors around you, they've kind of been a little fidgety. Seen them this morning and even last night. But here in just this, the open freedom, all these individuals just seem at home. As you all kind of start falling into your positions on the ship, helping out as you do, would all of you give me a perception check, please?
And do.
Sorry, I seem to have lost connection for a second there, so
Pretty good.
what did I miss?
Just a perception check as you are heading on your way into. Oh, and I think we lost her again.
I think Kimberlite blinked. Got the old nat one.
Ooh.
Aya, how's your connection doing?
It gave up there for a second, but I think it's back to being stable. Did my roll go through? Yes, it did.
Yep, see the 19.
Yeah. I mean, Kimberlite, maybe you're below deck. Yeah. The chef called you down. You look like a connoisseur of fine taste, and maybe having you run some taste tests of some of the grog that they're preparing up for the journey. It's decent, but it's ship food. Chip, not shit.
Either way.
Oh, either way.
Rest of you being on deck, kind of just helping out, maybe spending a little more time with the crew, who start to catch rumors and conversations, giving you the idea that even the crew that belongs to this ship doesn't know exactly what it is that you guys are carrying. So everyone seems to have their own opinions and ideas and rumors that they're spreading. Hear everything from their smuggling gems from the mountainside, this illegal trade, from they're just not actually smuggling, or they're not actually carrying anything. This is all a big ruse.
Well, that is interesting.
Didn't you say at the end, as I recall at the beginning, our team helped carry the cargo on board the night before, and then we went to the inn?
Those of you that were up early probably
okay.
would have caught some of
Gotcha.
the cargo being loaded on.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, just
Yep.
make sure I remember
none of
correctly. Gotcha.
And none of it spoke or screamed, right?
None of it spoke or screamed, no.
Okay, so it's not people.
Well, unless they're bound and gagged.
It's a cheery thought.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you still hear muffled sounds if they were bound and gagged and not drugged in some way so that they would just be asleep?
Especially if you're carrying the boxes yourself.
Indeed.
You never know. All the same, Victoria, I think, would do a little snooping.
Sure.
Down in the hold, trying to be as quiet and stealthy as possible, of course.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Okay. which I do have advantage on due to a cloak of elven kind.
Heck yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. 24.
I've got to say though, Arshan being the former soldier, he's I hate to do this. He would be the one watching to make sure that nobody snuck down. Is if they're not supposed to know, then he's the one who's going to say, "Nope, we're not supposed to know."
Sure. Well, give me a
So he'd
perception
be
check.
watching. And he has advantage on perception.
And unfortunately, the cloak of elven kind imposes disadvantage, so it's a straight
Oh,
roll.
well, it doesn't. Yeah, I was
Either
going to say
way.
it doesn't matter. He got a 6 or 11, so he doesn't see squat.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't care.
I mean, you've seen your companions just kind of bustling around. Seeing Victoria, it doesn't even really register in your brain that something might be wrong, and then suddenly Victoria's gone. Oh, must have just headed, up above deck. But Victoria,
Mm-hmm.
get as far down the stairs as you can get before seeing that the hatch to the very bottom deck of the ship is padlocked.
Could she does have thieves' tools, and she is proficient in thieves'
Absolutely.
tools.
Yeah,
Okay.
roll them up.
So, all right. We go with the sleight of hand for this.
Unless you have expertise in your.
Sadly, no. She is not that kind of rogue. Oh, that's pretty good. 21.
Yeah, easy enough. Without a single sound, the lock is picked, open, just able to slip in bottom deck of the ship.
Okay.
You have dark vision, right?
Let me double check. Da, 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 da. Language, ancestral legacy. She does not, but she does have a torch.
Okay. As you slip in, it is pitch black down there. You have to pull out the torch, light it up, and they're kind of like lined up against both sides of the walls of the bottom of the ship are like big metal racks, and attached to these racks are just whatever it is. It stands about 6 feet tall, and like each rack holds about 5 of whatever these things are, and they're all covered with a heavy woolen sheet.
Okay.
Look vaguely humanoid.
Are they moving?
Since you've been down here, nothing but you has.
She will peek under the sheet.
The vaguely humanoid figure under. Instead of skin and bone, you see metal plating, copper gears. Instead of flesh, it's just armor. Some of it dented, some of it still more pristine condition. But these all look like automatons. All currently deactivated, but automaton.
From what she can gather, do they look like they're armed?
I mean, a lot of them, they're different makes and models, but you definitely see some that have, built-in blades into the arms. Some have slots where you could put weapons, where you could put shields. Some even have, like, long barrels built into one of their arms. How familiar would you say Victoria is with black powder weaponry?
I would say she is a Frankenstein's monster, so I would say she at least has a passing knowledge of it. She isn't sure how it's made necessarily, but she's familiar with it as a concept.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you can definitely see that at least this rack that you're currently inspecting, at least one of them has just a long barrel built into the back of one of the arms and a canister at the bottom. Looks like some kind of black powder device.
Interesting. Okay. I think that satisfies her curiosity, and she will extinguish her torch and close and lock the door behind her.
Okay. Slip back up through the hatch, close it, and slip back into the crowd. Would you give me
Yep,
one more stealth check, please?
can do. Stealth check with advantage. 22.
Yep, no worries.
And she's rolling really well with these. Goodness.
Anyone else on your first day of travel? Anything special you would be doing, or just kind of slow learning the ship?
Volka would definitely be paying attention to the people, to what they're saying about what the cargo is, because she's curious, but other than that, probably just play music. I don't know if she would have even noticed that Victoria would have been gone at some point.
Yeah, a lot of the crew definitely seems to be warming up to you, and a lot of them even sing along. A little off key, not great singers here, but they certainly
Volka doesn't
appreciate the
mind.
music. Uh,
In
yeah, go ahead.
in Kimberlite's case, it'd probably be like after being named taste tester, he'd probably just wander about the ship, getting to know people, kind of having his head in the clouds in more ways than one. Just kind of generally seeing where he can help out and maybe talking to a few people about this or that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Arshan would definitely be giving a hand with keeping the rigging in line, tying off lines where need be, loosing some sail here and there, and probably chiming in with the shanties and ballads that are being sung by Volka. Maybe chiming in and, as always, off key.
As you do. But yeah, it really does seem like none of the crew, at least none of the rank and file crew, seem to have any idea it's loaded at the bottom of the ship. But there are certainly those who wonder why so much secret? Why did this ship not pass through customs when it left this? Why? What exactly is it that required so many additional mercenaries to be? But first day of travel goes by uneventful. In fact, the first few days go by without much issue, without much commotion. The crew, including all of you, start to get into a rhythm. Till about the fourth day. It's about midday by this point. Where would you say that each of you would be on the ship?
Probably above deck, where where people can hear her singing.
Okay.
Victoria would likely be up in the rigging.
Perfect.
think Archan would definitely be continuing to give a hand with keeping sails in line, tying off lines here and there for spars and such. So he would be on deck, probably toward the front,
Gotcha.
toward the bow.
And Kimberlite?
Kimberlite would probably be kind of sat in the bird's nest, like checking out the stars if like it can be seen, or just generally just
Gotcha.
like doing some doodles.
All right. And so you're all up there. We'll give you all a perception check. And especially Kimberlite, since you're probably... Said you're up in like the crow's nest area?
Yes.
I'll give you perception, or give you advantage on this. Natural 20.
Yeah.
At least one of us saw something.
What do my Ganassi eyes see?
Everybody roll?
Oh, everyone was supposed to roll?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're all up there.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
We're rolling for perception?
Perception. Yeah.
Yeah, Archan didn't see. He got a 9.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Naturally, the one in the crow's nest. Currently keep an eye out. And you've even been given a spyglass while you're up there, just in case. As you are staring out, your companion, who's just been talking your ear off up there, just talking about all the places that he's been, you know, just kind of the more bragging, just bolsterous type, just kind of loves to hear himself talk, isn't really keeping an eye out as well as he maybe should be on scouting duty.
Mm-hmm.
But you're keeping an eye on the sky, start to see these black specks that start appearing just occasionally clouds. At this distance, it's hard to tell exactly what they are, but they definitely stand out.
Would they be kind of like quite far in the distance, more on the kind of like horizon?
Oh yeah, like on the
Ish.
edge of as far as you can see through the spyglass.
Mm-mm. I'd probably kind of like put a finger up to just shush the guy that's talking my ear off. Just like something out there on the horizon. You should probably alert someone just in case.
It's probably birds. I mean, there's tons of creatures that fly up here.
Yes, but if I can see them at this distance, they're probably a bit bigger than birds.
Giant eagles, maybe?
Just kind of squint at him a little bit.
Right. All right. He just leans over and shouts down, "Hey, we might have something up here. New guy says he sees something on the horizon. We should let the first mate know." Orders kind of relayed across the ship to the helm as you're staring off and watching these figures through the clouds get larger and larger as you're not quite headed like you aren't headed directly towards each other or perpendicular to each other, but their speed seems to not only match but exceed what this ship is capable of putting.
As they get close. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As they get closer, can I tell what they are, or are they still kind of just black dots at this point?
Make another perception check. Also with advantage.
Nice.
20 and a 19. There's, just you're kind of watching their movements as these creatures just almost like lazily swing through the sky as they're flying. And you can see a good half dozen of them. Eventually they get close enough that you can start to make out like more details of dark leathery wings, of long reptilian heads and necks. These are young black dragons.
Is this a flock of young black dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Not flying towards us, but kind of like in the vicinity.
Definitely headed your way.
Yeah, I would just kind of like shout down, "It's dragons!" Kind of like just whispering first, like, "Dragons! It's dragons!"
The rest of you kind of hear this conversation being relayed down from the nest. Anything you guys would all like to do?
Well, Valka's definitely going to stop singing and look and be like, okay, is this something that I need to be ready for? Am I going to need to fight these dragons? Are we going to die? Are they going to set us on fire? Oh dear, what's going on?
Yeah.
Archan, I think, would go, wait, what? What about me? Oh, no, dragon, not dragonborn. And then bring his, from whatever he was doing, bring his hand up and start scanning the horizon for these dragons.
Yeah. Victoria?
Oh. Well, that is certainly a new development. She'll kind of slide down or scramble down off the rigging and get out her daggers.
Alright. As the ship kind of continues its course, the first mate now kind of seeing off to the left, doing her best to maybe cut out of the path of the dragons, but still headed in towards their goal. Dragons in their small flock seem to adjust course, make sure that they're still on an intercept course.
Since Archan started to scan the horizon, would I have seen the flock of dragons starting to come in?
Oh, for sure, especially since they've been
Okay.
pointed out and like the direction is pointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify. In that case, he's going to pull the light crossbow out from his back and start cocking it, loading a bolt.
Gotcha. This ship does also have point defense. There are multiple ballistas set up that some of the crew are kind of inching their way towards, like waiting for the word. Any of you would like to help man those?
I think in that case, if Archan sees them starting to move there, his sergeant, he's a sergeant or a former sergeant in some military. He's a former soldier. He's gonna say, "What are you waiting for? Get on those! Don't wait! No! Get on those! Man them! Come on!
You see
We
them,
don't know if they're coming for us, but they may be. Get on those ballista."
You see like all of the crew kind of pause, take a look at you, look up at the first mate, and she just looks out at the dragons. Shit. I was rather hoping to avoid anything like this. They've got a beat on us. Man the ballistas. Get ready for a fight. And just need to know who all would like to man a ballista and jump into a pseudo initiative.
I don't know if I have proficiency with a ballista.
Really only one person needs to aim it. Just a dexterity check on their part. Otherwise, it's just people helping to, crank it back, reload it, steady.
Oh, if it's dex check, then I'm totally on board for that.
I would
Perfect.
say, yeah, Victoria will help with aiming as well.
Right.
Kimberlite would help, but his dexterity is poor, so he probably wouldn't be aiming it.
All right.
Archan's going to be using his crossbow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's going to be leaning over the edge with the crossbow, kind of like a sniper, just waiting, and waiting.
All right. And as you are all prepped, all positioned, and just seeing these black dots grow and grow to these angry, leather-winged creatures that have absolutely not only noticed the ship, but are actively making a beeline towards it, swaying back and forth in almost beautiful patterns of flight. This does look like one nest of black dragon that's maybe out for, one of their first hunts, and it sees something big flying in the sky and is gonna head towards it. Roll some initiative for the ship. Roll some for the dragons. Ship. 7. Dragons a 6. So the ship is actually going to get to act first. As they start to get within range of the ballistas, not quite within range of your crossbow yet. Those of you that are aiming, I'll take a dexterity check from you.
Okay.
See if you can land a bolt.
Ability check. Oh, that could have been better.
Yeah, and unfortunately at this
Those
range,
were bad.
bolts are just a little too easy to dodge as they just, fold in their wings, do a quick dive, and then quickly spread them out, catching the warm air pocket and just soaring back upwards. Both of the bolts a clean miss. All of the dragons at this point are just going to start just dashing towards the ship. Basically spending their entire turn just moving, getting into that flanking positions. Now within light crossbow range.
Yeah, so Archan would definitely take a shot at the nearest dragon to him. So the 17.
Check their stat block. 17 is gonna just hit.
So that's going to be 7 piercing damage on the nearest black dragon to them.
Gotcha. One you hit and it lets out this cry of pain. Actually, drops a good 15 feet out of the sky before catching itself, righting, and then shooting back upwards, now far angrier. Second round of initiative. Kimberlite, since you did not partake in the aiming, if you would like to make strength check, you can try to help reload.
I was actually considering giving someone who is firing guidance.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's your pick. You have just some of the rank and file crew. You have Valka and Victoria. Your choice.
I'll go Valka.
Perfect.
You've now got a D4 to add to your roll.
For the second round of
Wonderful.
attacks, roll for each ballistas. Victoria, your ballista
Okay.
is unfortunately not yet reloaded in time.
Oh, darn.
Valka, your ballista is thankfully reloaded.
Wonderful.
So we'll start off
So-
with Valka with your dex check with your.
And then. Oh, no, that's. Ah! Ah! I don't know how to work this thing. I'm sorry.
No
I'm making
worries.
mistakes all over.
Don't we all?
So, how do I add this d4?
On the bottom there of like the chat box, there's just a bunch of dice symbols. Click the D4 and click roll. Roll.
And then
Four.
the ability check.
Nice.
Nice. That absolutely hits.
Yes! Yay!
And the damage. Will you roll 3, 8?
I can do that. 3. Roll.
Oh, very nice.
Beautiful.
That bolt just soars straight and true. The dragon tries to, catch its wings and stop, divert its very rapid ascent onto the ship, but can't quite manage in time. And the bolt just starts to pierce through the hide of like the abdomen. Some of it deflected, but a lot of it just driving straight in. And also lets out this horrid scream of pain before fully just dropping from its attack pattern. See it turning and actually flying off. But Victoria and Arjan, like, this is not quite reloaded.
Arshan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Victoria.
No, go ahead. I'm still thinking.
Yeah. Archan would have definitely, as soon as that he saw the first crossbow bolt hit, he would have started cranking back his light crossbow and loading another bolt to take a second shot. Assuming it wasn't the dragon that Volca hit. Was it the same dragon that Archan hit?
It would have been, yeah. Basically one
Okay.
that just took off ahead and was absolutely the closest target.
Okay, so he's going to take aim on the next closest black dragon.
Perfect.
Take a shot with his light crossbow.
Go for it.
13.
Teen's unfortunately gonna miss. That one, seeing its brood mate take the massive bolt, kind of starts taking the zigzag pattern, helping to avoid any further shots, as the rest of the ballista are also, going off by this point. The crew doing its best to help, maybe not necessarily kill these creatures, but scare them off, get them to back off. But by this point, the dragons in the lead start reaching the ship, and one of them just covers the deck in a breath weapon that some of the crew is able to avoid, others not so lucky. The acid just starts boiling away at part of the deck. One of the dragons is going to land in between both of your ballistas, Victoria and Valka. And here, other dragons also starting to land on the edge of the ship, some just content with passing breath weapon. And I'm going to move you guys over to a battle map. Now you may have to zoom in. A fairly large map.
Okay, fair enough.
I will when it loads. Oh, there we go.
To the combat tracker. And it is actually going to roll initiative for everyone. Foundry's cool like that. Oh, and of course it didn't take your token names. Yay. Just
I'll
one
be
second.
the +1.
What was that?
My dexterity is +1, so I'll be the second from the bottom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't transfer the names over to the tokens.
Yeah,
That's
and
okay.
mine and Archan for me would be the +0 dex, so 13.1 for initiative.
I actually screwed up my initiative bonus because Victorious is a swashbuckler, so I think I added that wrong. So I just
let me know what your initiative would be.
it would be the 20 should be -3. She only has a +6 to her modifier.
Should be a 17.
Correct.
Perfect. And on the top right, that menu bar above the chat, there is a closed fist. You right click that, that will pop out the
Beautiful. Which means that I would go first.
yeah. Top of the
So-
initiative is Valka.
I am going to. I'm going to use Vicious Mockery on the dragon.
Bold move.
An oldie but a goodie. I just don't know how to use it.
In your spell list,
Mm-hmm.
click on the actual image, not the word. It should. Yep. I
Okay.
can roll the wisdom. That's a natural 1 and a failure.
Ouch. Take 1d4 psychic damage and have. So do I just click the damage button?
Yep.
Okay. That's just a normal roll, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Aw.
Every little bit counts.
At least
And-
it has disadvantage now.
Sure does. You still have movement and a bonus action.
I will stay where I am.
All right. If that's your turn, then on the bottom of the combat tracker, there should be a button that says next turn or end turn. There you go. Victoria.
Okay. How close can I get to this dragon?
Where you are is accurate, so you're about 25 feet away.
Okay. Would I be able to get close to it without being right next to our dragonborn friend?
Unfortunately not. You're gonna be... Oh. You're 30 feet?
Yep, that works.
Yeah, so you could get to there.
Okay, so again, fun swashbuckler thing. She will bring out the short swords, twirl them a bit, and she's going to make 2 attacks with a action and a bonus action.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Let's see. Short sword. Oh, yeah. There we go. First attack. Just a normal roll. 16.
16's gonna just miss.
Okay. That's the first one. Then the offhand.
Yeah.
Normal.
But a
21.
21 definitely hits.
Okay, so that's just 1d6 without the modifier since it was offhand. Plus, well, actually, it's 3d6 because of the sneak attack. And that could have gone better. 5.
Very nice. Do that. Yeah. Just run up, bounding up the steps past your dragonborn friend, swiping out with the first short sword, just barely deflecting off the tough hide, with the second one driving in and drawing a little bit of blood. It seems to be doing all right, but it's kind of surprised that whatever the heck this thing is fighting back so hard.
Yep. Alright, that should end my turn.
Arjan.
Okay, yeah, so it's not letting me zoom in the way I would like it to, but Arjan
Are you on a
would.
laptop?
I'm on a laptop. Yeah, so by the looks of it, should be within his 30-foot movement.
You're literally right next to it.
Am I?
Mhm.
Okay. In that case, he's going to drop his crossbow and in one motion draw his longsword and take a swipe at this dragon.
Go for it.
And that's an 11.
11's not. But
Yeah, and let me just check. The drawback to third level, only one action.
Yep.
only one attack per action.
yep.
So that let me just double check one other thing. I should have done it beforehand, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it for now.
Okay.
So that will be his action.
Still have movement if you want it.
No, he's going to stay where he's at.
And I did put it in the Discord chat, but page up button should scroll in.
Oh, okay, good. I will do that next.
And at the bottom of the tracker, just hit next turn. And Kimberlite.
Hello. I'm also having a struggle with the zooming in, and page up is not working.
Numpad plus, maybe?
You can also just double click on your name and it should zoom into you.
It kind of takes me there, but it doesn't zoom in to the thing. But if I am close to, in fact, I shall ask questions as I go. We can do this. How close are dragons together?
The only dragon that's currently actually on the deck of the ship is the one in front of you. Rest, either they landed on the side of the ship and you can't quite tell where they are yet, or just did some flybys.
How big are these dragons? Like,
Large.
okay. Is anyone within 5 feet of it?
For sure. You have 2 companions within 5 feet.
Rude. Okay, so Thunderwave is not an option.
Assuming Kimberlite and Arshan had the chance to talk a little bit more about their abilities as they were walking to the ship, you would know that he would not care. If you needed to, if they were in the midst of combat and he was in the way, take the shot.
I think instead I will go for Guiding Bolt on the dragon that's on deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I'm doing this at first level. Oh, ooh, that's a 10 to hit.
Unfortunately, 10 is not going to do it.
Right. So that's my action. No one is hurt at the minute. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there then.
Alright.
And then
What does
we
your
go.
guiding bolt look like?
It probably looks like a shooting star, just emanating from
So
what
cool.
looks to be kind of like a rolled up map,
Okay.
which yes. So yeah, my turn ended.
As you call on the magic, that glimmer just kind of building before you release it, the dragon, now dodging multiple blades, just ducks down, like hugging the deck of the ship. Sparkling bolt just unfortunately soars past it. But on its turn, has not yet used its acid breath.
Bring it.
It's going over so that Arjan, you will get an attack of opportunity. Start scurrying along the deck of the ship.
Gotcha. Yeah, he will take a swipe at it with his longsword. So 17
17 just hits.
for 9 damage.
Gotcha. Nice solid hit. It is now looking pretty hurt. It is gonna turn back towards the 2 that have just been stabbing it like crazy. Take a deep breath and spew its acid breath in a straight line, hitting the 2, both Victoria and Arzan. So would both of you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Do.
16.
10.
The 16 is going to succeed, the 10 is not.
So if I'm correct, that's going to be half damage then for Archan.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It is 21 points of acid damage.
Victoria has 21 hit points.
Oh no! It just spews the acid, impacting Victoria, holding for as long as you can, but eventually the burning just starts to overtake you. You see Victoria drop, and the rest of the line continues into Arjan. You manage to deflect some of it with your shield as you take 10 points of acid damage. But yeah, brutal hit. And fortunately, that's its turn. Up around 2, Valka.
Well, this is awful. Alright. Time to move towards it and stabby it. I think. I can't remember if I had... Well, it's within 5 feet of Kimberlite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And... so I can technically sneak attack it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to a creature. So I'm going to move up to it, like flank it here. If I do that, if I move to like right next to it, does it get an attack of opportunity, or is it if I
Nope.
have to pass it?
You'd have to
Okay.
enter and then give its attack range.
Okay. So then I will
Ooh, that's...
sneak attack. So I just have to like click the sneak attack button.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay. Clicky. It's not popping anything open for me. Oh, wait. It is, sorry. It opened it twice, sorry. And I'm so confused. I'm very sorry.
You're fine.
So I just click my weapon,
Mhm.
and then
Your option to
click
attack.
the attack button.
Yep. What,
19.
25 absolutely hits.
Okay. And then I just hit damage, and then damage for the sneak attack too.
Mm-hmm. But you do also have your special dagger. So instead of applying the sneak attack damage, you could apply that to temp HP.
If I applied it as temp HP to, say, Victoria, would it work? Because she's down?
That's a great question. Give me 1 second. Unfortunately, it won't bring Victoria up, but it would help protect her possibly if it decides to go in for a bite while she's unconscious.
Okay. So then I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, roll both your damages. Victoria, you have 6 points of temp HP.
Hey.
Aw,
6 points of piercing damage.
stabby.
Yeah. Dragon's looking pretty dang hurt. Anything else?
That's it. I don't think I can do anything else, so no.
Gotcha. Just a quick, like, hood slide over the ballista, bringing the rapier down on this thing, transferring some of that energy into your downed companion, who is still just... There's still just wisps of, like, burning leather coming off of her. And Victoria, I need a death saving throw.
Right. And this is actually at advantage because she is reborn.
Or a
Part of her,
reborn.
she has deathless nature. So,
Died once, didn't care for it. 0 out of
Okay.
10 would not recommend.
okay, roll. Okay, 14.
Success. As to Arjan.
Yeah, seeing everything happening before him, bringing up his shield to block the acid, drawing it back, seeing Victoria just falling onto the deck of the ship, he would let out this bestial roar and then and charge at this just above, hopping over Victoria, charging at, thank you. He would charge at this dragon wormling and expend one of his superiority die, because he is a battle master, which I forgot last round, to use fainting attack. You can expend one superiority die and use a bonus action on your turn to add the total to the damage roll and to gain advantage on your next attack roll.
Beautiful.
So, let me give you that D8. That's going to be 8, if this works. And now for advantage.
Yeah.
Let's see, come on. It's a 23. Here's for advantage.
Both
So
would
the
hit.
first one, 23. So 23 for 10, 18 slashing damage on this dragon wormling. He's just enraged seeing one of his companions fall.
Absolutely.
And just strikes at what the closest he can to the heart of this dragon.
Yeah. How would you like to kill it?
Wow. That said, he's going to run past Victoria and jumping in the air over her, what he imagined, as he can see it, lifeless body.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to land and just stab into the abdomen of this dragon wormling, going for where he knows the heart to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You're just come running up, that rage building, finding that weak spot and seeing as it's turning to deal with Kimberlite and Volka, and just driving the blade home. It just lets out this cry of pain. We're trying to pull away from the blade and just kind of tumbling off to the side and then collapsing. Beautifully done. Anything else?
No, that I'd say flavor wise, he would just rip the sword out and just whip around roaring.
Nice.
Like one of the dragons.
Love it.
Looking for another one in the air.
All right. If that's your turn, then click the next turn button. Up to Kimberlite.
Okay, so Kimberlite kind of like stops, realizes that one's down, doesn't know where any of the other ones are, but he is going to immediately bonus action healing word on Victoria.
Roll it up.
If
you cast the spell, it should give you a button.
Yeah.
Five points of healing.
5. And as my action, I'm going to kind of like it's been doing like the heaviest hitting.
What's that?
I'm gonna give Arjuna guidance. I think that works on like attack
Yeah.
rolls and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
And I will take that.
Yep. and that will be my turn.
Gotcha. At the end of the round, you still hear and see the rest of the crew kind of fending off more of the dragons as another one is turned away and takes off to flee. But a number of the crew are just consumed by another beam of acidic energy from right there. Dragon. It's the fight. This time rolling much higher than its brethren with a natural 20. And I need to see if it does get its breath weapon back. Does not, thankfully. Yeah, it's going to sit over there and just start trashing that ballista. Absolutely tearing it to pieces. Elka.
Alrighty. Let's see. Our friend Arjan was hurt too by the attack. So I think I should probably try and heal him with Healing Word, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Because I don't think that he got healed. Sorry, I was...
Yeah, no.
Distracted for a
Well,
second.
you would see that he's taken a little. He's looking a little worse for wear, but he's not bloody or anything. Just
Yeah.
probably a little bit of acid got him on his one arm, and especially the one holding his sword.
It's probably best to keep him upright.
Yeah.
So,
Touche.
oh, weird. It says I can't use it. Okay.
Oh, it took all of your spell slots. That's why. There you go. Try it again.
Okay. There we go. And I can... How do I select who I use it on?
I think double click Arjan maybe,
Okay.
or control click. I don't remember how to target. No, it's fine. Just roll the healing, and Arjan, you can just add it.
Yeah, I'll tweak as needed. So 6, nice. I will take that.
Alrighty.
Not quite at max, but hey, it's
more
pretty
than
close.
nothing.
Yes, exactly. Pretty close to tip and top.
Right. You still
And
have plenty
as
of
that was a
movement
bonus
left.
action, I will move to here for now.
Gotcha.
And end my turn.
Victoria. You're suddenly brought back to consciousness. A tingling sensation across your skin where the acid had got you. Maybe a few, like, sparkling lights in your eyes as you...
I'm going to need a bath after this blast. And she'll use half her movement to get up. And she will get to about here. Can't really do a whole heck of a lot more. Oh, well, actually she can dash, can't she?
Yeah. Cunning
Bonus
action.
action dash. Yep. So, oh boy. She'll get to about here. And I think I'll say she'll hold a thrown dagger attack if the dragon gets closer to her.
Perfect.
And that is her turn.
All right. Arjan.
Okay, yes. I think scanning the sky, roaring like I said he did, he would, I imagine, hear this other dragon wormling hit the deck, and then he would, recognizing the distance between them, he would also dash, probably leaping over the corpse of the other one. And again, I'm still having trouble zooming in, so hopefully this is... I've got 60 feet of movement, so if I'm correct... Yeah, because I tried the other quick methods, I think.
That's 45. You had 15 feet more if you want to get, like, up to it.
Yeah, in that case right there.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. That's why... So he's going to dash up to it, having leapt over the corpse of its sibling, and just glare at it, shield up, sword ready to strike.
Gotcha.
And that should be... I click the target. Okay. Yeah, that should be... Let's see. His action, I don't believe I have any... Yeah, that's going to be my turn.
Gotcha.
So let me go ahead and hit next turn, and we're good.
And Kimberlite.
Right. So, how far is it away from me? No, that's not me. That is me. I can't read how far that is.
Looking at 45 feet.
45.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expend a use of my wild shape to use my starry form.
Very cool.
And I take the form. That's a lot. I take the form of the archer. So you watch as Kimberlite starts to glow. The constellation of the archer kind of like goes across his chest, and all his joints start to glow like as though he is a walking constellation. As his bonus action, he goes to attack, which is a d20 plus 3.
Spell attack modifier is
that
only
misses.
a +3?
Yeah, I've only got a plus 3 to my wisdom.
That should be +5 plus +2.
Oh,
from
in which
proficiency.
case, that's still a 9. I don't think that.
Unfortunately, 9's not going to do it.
In which case, I'm still glowy for 10 minutes, but since that was my bonus action, I can... Don't want to use up all my spell slots at once, but... How many more dragons are there just kind of dotted around? I'm
This one
like,
and
aware of
one
existing.
more. One just kind of
Okay.
keeps doing like a flanking like breath attack along the ship and then taking off.
Right, in which case, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cast Moonbeam on this one.
All right. Did turning into your starry form take an action?
It was a bonus action.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, I double checked. So we're all good. Cast spell. Yeah.
Save. Help if I actually
Damn it.
get selected. That's a 19, unfortunately.
It still takes half damage though. So that is rounding down, so that's 5.
Yeah. Oh, nice solid hit.
And I believe it when it starts its turn, it needs to do it again, I believe.
Oh, so that would actually happen on the start of its turn. That either
When a creature
go ahead.
enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in burst of flames that cause searing pain.
Oh. On any turn.
Its duration is up to 1 minute. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and that is my turn.
Gotcha. Back to the top of initiative. On a tracker. Start of its turn. Unsave. Well, a natural 20, but it still is to take half. Gonna roll that 2d10 again.
I shall.
Six points of damage. It does not appreciate that one bit. It's going to give Arjan an attack of opportunity. Nine is unfortunately miss.
Which only enrages him more.
Yeah.
If he were a barbarian.
Please get your breath weapon back. It does get its breath weapon back.
Great.
Hey, I can hear the excitement in your voices.
Don't worry, somebody else still hasn't used his breath weapon.
Oh, that's true.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more, say no more.
Oh, I can't hit Kimberlite. Wait. Nope. That's gonna miss. Oh, it's one or the other. Well, Kimberlite just absolutely messed up this dragon's day. So unfortunately, the breath weapon is going to skim right past Valka. Right. So I just need a dex save from Kim.
I cry. Right. Next save is saving throw. There we go.
Four is unfortunately a failure.
So let's see if I die.
We're fine. We're fine. Everything will be fine.
28 points of acid damage.
I have 21 hit points.
Never mind.
Bye, guys.
It's still fine. It's still fine. Death saves and all that. We're good. We're good.
It just kind of lands on the mast, like just perched there, barely off the deck, and just spews out the breath weapon towards this glowing star figure. And unfortunately, Kimberlite does drop.
He's no longer glowing, and Moonbeam disappears.
That's its turn. Valka.
Alrighty, so this is kind of a problem. I guess I have no choice but to move up to it and stab it.
Sure. right there will put you in range of attacking it.
Okay. Stabby, stabby.
17 just hits.
Oh, thank goodness.
8. Oof.
I don't do much damage. I only have 10 hit points for some reason, too. So this is an issue.
Roll up your additional hit points.
I didn't know that I had to. I'm sorry.
You're totally fine. I think bards and rogues are both d8s.
I believe so, yeah.
So just roll 3d8 and we'll re-roll any ones. Or 2d8, sorry. So add an extra 11 hit points for 21 total.
Okay, good. Oops.
Which is much better than 10.
Much better. I was very confused there for a second.
But yeah, 8 damage is solid. It's looking bloody. From the series of moonbeam blasts, and then taking the rapier just right to the body. It's certainly entering that like fight or flight panic mode. Anything else?
No, I think that's all I can do for now.
Gotcha.
So give me just a sec.
Victoria.
All right, Toria. Gonna come right up here. I don't suppose this would be flanking, would it?
If you could get to there, that is flanking.
Perfect. So yeah, she is going to lash out with her short swords.
Yeah.
Let's see. Attack with advantage because of flanking.
Flanking, we just add a +2.
Just 2? Okay, thank you.
That's
That's
way the barbarians, reckless attacks, like attacking from stealth, it still matters.
gotcha. Normal. Oh, come on. 13.
15 is still not gonna hit.
Oh wait, no, that's the. Oh no, yeah, it's not advantage.
Oh,
all
you
right,
added the +2
offhand.
already. Never mind.
Yeah, and all right, offhand. It's 2. Are you kidding me?
Oh. It's just in this panic mode of just like trying to dart out of the way out of every attack, and the wings just are flying everywhere in a panic, and it's hard to land a solid hit.
All right, well, that is that's your go.
All right, Arjan.
Okay. Archan is going to burn another fainting attack as a bonus action. Try and confuse it for a second. And land right here beside it. Kind of act like he's going to be moving in front of it and then jump back to give himself advantage on his longsword attack.
Yeah.
So let's see. Actually, I will do it. No, I'll do it this way. Yeah, and this is why I'm rolling for advantage. Come on.
There you go. That 20 absolutely hits.
Yeah, 20 for 10. That should, 10 slashing damage. How does this thing look?
It is severely hurt.
Well then, just to be safe. Let's see, let me go ahead and check off his superiority die. second wind. Or not second wind, excuse me, action surge.
Heck yeah.
Gonna go ahead and action surge this. And he is going to blast it with his breath weapon.
All
Which
right,
is going to be... So, his breath weapon as a silver dragonborn is going to take 2d6 cold damage, half on a save. That's going to be a DC 13, if I'm correct. Yeah, DC 13 con save.
save. That's a fail. Only a
Nice.
10.
I will go ahead and give you that breath weapon. 9 cold damage.
For the 2 for 2, how would you like to kill it?
I'm going to say that as he charges up to it, as he charges up to this black dragon wormling, probably latching on to the main mast of the vessel, he slashes at its abdomen, bringing it down. And seeing that it's not quite down, he draws in upon himself this elemental energy, almost as if he's drawing upon the elemental energy of this wormling, and then breathes this cold energy, this blast of cold, pure cold, right where his sword struck, freezing its heart.
Heck yeah. Love to see it. The continuous strikes of blades on its already charred and damaged hide, and then just a breath weapon that just freezes it solid right there to the base of the mast. It just stops moving.
Yeah, and with that, that is his turn, and he just probably, flavor-wise, just lets out another bestial roar. You'd think he was a barbarian, but no.
All right. Last of the dragons that's kind of been swooping by, just doing, bombing raids with its acidic breath, sees that its companions, broodmates, either lie motionless or have fled, and just decides to turn, take off. Kimberlite, need a death saving throw.
Should I whisper it or?
Sure,
Like-
for drama. Gotcha. Stood. Kimberlite lies there, unconscious. That acid still eating away. Valka, we're up.
Alright, is there anything I can do for Kimberlite?
You can make a medicine check to stabilize.
Okay. So I will go and do that.
Don't imagine anyone bought any health potions.
Darn it.
Ooh.
No, I don't have any potions. Just healing word, but I don't know if that works to stabilize someone.
I definitely
Does.
would.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case. I wish I'd have known that before I rolled.
Well, thankfully, it is a DC 10, and you just hit it,
Oh, shoot.
Oh, good.
which is going to just kind of like taking out your canteen and helping to like wash away the acid so it stops eating away. And Light is stable, but still unconscious. No longer dying.
Good to know.
Alright, so I guess I will use my... Or can I use my healing word to get them back up?
Absolutely. I'll end the combat trackers. enemy. All gone.
Meh.
Kimberlite is brought back to consciousness with 5 points.
Just sits up with a large gasp of breath, like, I never want to do that again.
I don't think any of us would prefer to do that again, dear.
The first
But I
mate.
will- Alright.
Speak for yourselves. That was amazing.
Hear the first mate shout down to all of you. Well, all right. The hell of a fight you just put up.
Well, you did hire us for guard work. I don't think there was a clause exempting us from a black dragon attack.
Nope.
Was not. Either way, well done.
Where might the captain be in all this, out of curiosity?
Make a perception check.
Can do.
And sorry, Valka, I interrupted you.
No, you didn't.
Looking around, you don't see him.
She wasted all her good rolls doing the snooping.
If anyone else was interested in trying to spot the captain, you're also welcome to roll a perception check.
Nope. Arshan is basically being like a Klingon, just relishing the battle.
Oh, I saw that natural
Wow.
20.
Hey, I'm gonna
Yikes.
have a go at this as well, just to see if I also get a 2.
Ooh. Wait.
Better, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you see, like the wounded crew being tended to, the ship being immediately put to repairs. No sign of the captain.
Is anyone else perhaps curious where the captain has gone off to?
I can't see him anywhere.
Think.
What do you mean? I swear he was right. What?
You'd think he'd be more hands-on in a situation like this.
That would certainly help with the morale. I would guess either if he's not here, perhaps either in his cabin or down by the cargo.
Well, I would think he would be by the cargo, protecting it.
Well, in fairness, I don't think the cargo needs much protecting on its own.
But he was quite paranoid about it, so perhaps we should go check on it.
I would be inclined to agree.
Yes, the dragon's acid may have seeped down below decks, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And they were spraying it at the edge, too.
Well, that would certainly be an unfortunate thing to get on an army of automatons.
What?
I beg your pardon?
Excuse me?
Yes, I did a bit of snooping on our way here, and yes, our cargo is a rather large shipment of partially armed and armored automatons, some complete with black powder weapons, if that means anything to all of you.
And you're certain you should be saying this out loud?
Archan scratching his head, trying to figure out what black powder is. He's not the brightest.
Yes, it's
like, wait a minute. What?
It-
And it's still trying to make sense of, wait, we weren't supposed to, but you, how do you, no.
I
No, no,
I don't
no.
like not knowing, dear. Especially now that we
And I hired you. Olin's gonna kill me.
He doesn't need to know.
That's actually
And
a great question. How loud is this conversation?
I would say she's
Hopefully
not
quiet.
she's not yelling it. She's like discussing it between y'all.
Oh, Archan's not the most subtle. He's very loud and boisterous. So
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to make a stealth check for him, or he's speaking at his normal volume, so he's not yelling it,
Okay, good to know.
but he's not being subtle.
And Valka
Archan
is
doesn't know
insisting that
subtle.
everyone should be quiet.
Yeah.
Volka's just like, shh, shut up.
Well,
Okay.
in any case, shall we adjourn to the hold?
Good plan. Before someone is too loud and lets everyone else know.
Who
If
would
they
be
don't
too loud?
already.
Wait, what? Oh,
And
I think that's when Archan would catch on and cover his mouth.
Let us leave.
Oria will lead the way.
All right. Well, as all start heading down, maybe inspect the hold, maybe if the captain's down there. Why don't we just take a quick 5-minute break? Give everyone a chance to stretch their legs, to go grab something to drink. Be right back.
All right.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back. Some appropriate fun. And if the music is too loud, let me know and I'll turn. All right. We left off. Party was kind of bandaging up their wounds, tending to their acid-soaked companions, discussing cargo that lies underneath, and heading down to inspect, hopefully running into the captain. Descend the staircase down the crew quarters and general storage, and then down to what was a locked hatch base floor of the ship, now unlocked and wide open. Even light coming out from the hatch, and you can hear voices.
I'd say that's a rather good indication.
There's definitely someone down there.
Well,
Certainly.
What are they saying? Archan would lean into the. Archan would say that, leaning into the door before going in.
Kind of lean in, you can catch little bits of the conversation of, I hired you to ensure that these things don't come to life on the ship. It is a nice relaxing voyage, but if they're going to keep doing this, then And at this point, the captain stops, kind of now noticing the footsteps and the figures loom over the hatch. Looks up to see Arjan, who's making his way down. Oh, so sorry, but this area, the ship is actually off limits.
You hired us to guard cargo. We're here to make sure that it's safe. My apologies.
Yeah, of course. But I can promise you that everything is all right down here. Let's just make our way back up to the top deck.
Captain, let's drop the niceties, if you will. I'm well aware of what we are hauling here. Small army of automatons. I believe you do well to come clean as to what exactly is going on here.
Just takes a big sigh, folds his arms. None of you work for the United Militia, right? Which you, of course, all know is to be like the centralized peace force that works kind of all across the country. Just a general standing militia / policing entity.
Certainly am not part of it.
No. I work for myself.
Nope.
I'm retired. Just looking for coin, but I'm intrigued to know what's going on here. Why we're transporting arms, so to say.
All right.
Arms and legs and bodies and other things.
And black powder weapons, don't forget about that.
You see a pair of crew that you've seen, like, kind of helping to take care of the ship down here. They currently have one of the heavy blankets kind of tossed to the side. Have some of the automatons, like, chests opened up and tools just strewn about. Some of the automatons that they are currently working on, every now and then you see one of the arms twitch. You see just an occasional spark, like, trail up the chest into the neck. Every once in a while, one of them shows just the faintest signs of life. Look, they were looking for ship captains to ferry wartime supplies from parts of the country in anticipation of an attack. But last thing that they want for panic or any civilians to do their best to make this worse. And of course not let any of the neighboring nations know that we are preparing for a all-out war.
Well, that is at least somewhat understandable. What exactly are you doing with these? You seem to be performing some sort of maintenance on them.
When the dragons first got wind of us, we believe that was the original sparks from these. They're, they're, they may not be the most reliable. May have got them from a second-hand source, and their occasional releases of their arcane spark seems to be attracting any creatures that are able to detect that.
Just to detect what specifically?
Magic.
Magic.
Uh-huh. And is there any risk of these automatons coming to life while we are in the air?
Oh, no, no. Of course not.
I'm going to need, I'm going to see if he's lying with
Make an
that.
insight check.
Okay. Okay, 14.
Yeah. I mean, his just eagerness to get you out, just like his over the top enthusiasm of saying, no, these are fine. And the fact that, the pair of mechanics behind him just like meet your eye, and one of them just kind of he like looks off to the side, like he's trying not to give away the fact that the captain is just full of shit.
Victoria is going to slowly walk forward, like right up to the captain. She's going to just glare down at him with these ice cold eyes. I do not appreciate dishonesty, Captain. Now you are going to start telling the truth and only the truth. Am I utterly clear?
Make an intimidation check. Very nice.
That is
Yeah, he just like looks at you, looks at the rest of you who are still kind of, beaten up and bloodied. Especially the Dragonborn, who's still probably feeling that adrenaline rush from combat. And just, takes like a half step back. The hands go up like, all right, right. Let's not do anything rash here. Yes, so the manufacturer that bought these from, at a very reasonable price, I might add, did warn us that they aren't always reliable to keep in their dormant state. Once they're activated, they are perfectly fine soldiers that will obey every command, drop of a hat. But being dormant for so long can mess with their gears a little.
Do you mind if I inspect them? I'm quite knowledgeable with magic.
Just like steps to the side and just motion, like, go for it.
Alright. Can I inspect them to see how likely they are to turn back on?
Sure. I would call that an Arcana check unless you believe you have a skill that's more appropriate.
Nope, I've got Arcana. Ah,
Still, 14's pretty dang good. So what exactly are you looking for?
basically anything that indicates that they might be a danger to anybody else around.
Okay. You can see like the arcane runes attached to their power cells that helps transfer that power into individual working parts of each automaton. And these runes weren't exactly professionally done. They're passable, they work, but like he said, they're not meant to keep the power in. They're meant to help funnel it. So when they're dormant, the runes start to get a little fidgety.
Well, these runes are, let's say, amateur at best. No wonder you got them for such a nice price.
the time of war on the horizon, can't always depend on every source for your weapons and armor.
Very true. But it's better to know that you have a loose cannon than it is to try and fire it and discover that it does not work.
Or are you saying that you could hope to keep them dormant?
I might be able to. I don't know if there's anyone else who knows anything about magic around that could also help. But if there is, you may want to contact them.
A pair of technicians were sitting there, kind of look at each other, and one of them just pipes up with, well, I know a little bit, but this is out of my wheelhouse. Oh boy, I'm glad you're here, because we've just kind of been making this up as we're going.
Well, I asked my companions if any of them know anything about Arcana or runes.
Unfortunately, I am only trained in, well, not even trained. I've only picked up bits and pieces, and most of what I know is of the, shall we say, less than legal variety.
No. I can break things and defend things, but I'm still not exactly happy about the situation, Captain, but I think it's best that I leave everything to my friends here, then let it be left to me.
I'm more of a history buff myself, as opposed to general magic.
So you would know that historically, these runes are fucked.
You
I'm
know
kidding.
what? Probably.
If
All
I
right.
understand correctly, then that means that, and Archan would kind of roll his shoulders. His shield is still in his one hand, and his other hand would be inching toward his sword, if need be. And he would leave it at that, just
If
kind of
need
hinting
be.
at it.
Yes, but honestly, automatons are preferable to human soldiers because they cost less lives. So it would be our best interest, if you care about such things, to fix them, which I will try and see if I can do.
I would be curious, these things don't have souls, do they?
I did not make them, but they seem pretty soulless to me.
Appearances can be deceiving.
If you would like to inspect this in some way, Matt,
Okay.
I would take an
Right, but-
Arcana check, unless you have a more applicable skill.
Investigation, maybe?
Sure. Investigation.
Okay. 14.
Okay. Um, the the magic that seems to sit at each of their power core. It doesn't seem like the kind of vessel that might bring a soul to power it. it seems more elemental.
Okay. Well, that does make her feel better.
Well, if you guys would like attempt to repair these, then we will give you all a series of skill checks, looking for a certain number of to hit a certain number of successes before you hit a certain number of failures. Whatever skill you would like to add in each round cannot be repeated, and you must use a different skill second round. So, first round of repair attempts. We'll go right to left. Start with Valka. What skill would you like to use?
How about... Could I use my perception to see where things need to be repaired and what needs to be fixed?
Absolutely.
Cool.
And then Kimberlite, what skill would you like to use?
Do we have to use different from each other, or just
Nope.
can't use the same?
You specifically
we've
can't
used
use the
previously.
same thing again.
Okay. I would also like to go for perception then.
Absolutely. Victoria?
Victoria is going to go with sleight of hand and be the hands while these other folks are acting as the eyes.
Perfect. And Arjan.
Oh, I've been sitting here thinking, what am I going to use? He doesn't really have anything. I want to say athletics to muscle. You know, if he if he sees anything specifically out of place, like bits and pieces of the, I want to say the fuselage of what appear to be the of the automatons, he wants to use athletics to basically muscle them back into place.
Absolutely. Yeah, then I will have each of you roll your skill checks.
Okay.
Here comes athletics.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, so with Victoria kind of helping to keep some of the finer inner workings steady, with Arjan helping to just keep the whole structure from moving around on a moving airship, with air currents, like constantly causing the ship to just list suddenly to the left or suddenly bounce, but it is firmly held in place. And Kimberlite and Valka doing their best to inspect this thing. That is to 3 successes and 1 failure. The first batch of the automatons seem to be put back under their stasis, back in control, and are returned to their start work on the second half. I'll again start with Valka. What's your skill check for the second round?
I'll use Arcana this time.
Perfect. Kimberlite?
I think I'm gonna try for insight would be a good one for this, wouldn't it? No, history.
Gotcha. It's very useful, especially when dealing with robots and constructs. Victoria.
So this is definitely a stretch, but could she... I'm just throwing this out there. Could she use survival to essentially, like, jury rig some of these things?
I wouldn't call that a stretch at all.
Okay.
And
And
Arjan.
I was about to say survival as well to make but to make sure he doesn't break it and cause it to blow up.
You're
He's
basically
he's
being a
using survival along with his athletics to make sure he doesn't blow them up.
perfect. Yeah. Everyone roll your skill checks.
Okay. Jeez, nice.
Natural 20.
These dice are rude.
Yeah, no, here are the good rolls, right?
Yeah. With some quick work, some quick patchwork of some of the runes that were kind of etched, but those pieces just came loose. Jury rigging them back into place, making sure those arcane connections are all firing properly. As get from one to the next, working quickly as they start to get more and more agitated. Valka, will you just make me a dexterity save?
Sure thing.
Just like arm deep in this thing's chest, doing best to repair. There's just a spark that zaps into one of the arms, causes it to swing out. Thankfully, able to duck under it, no problem. And then Arjan quickly gets hold of the arm and brings it back down. But especially with that natural 20, that is far more successes than you even need. And a lot of the automatons seem to be dormant once again. Captain just kind of stepping in and out as the process is going on. This is not a quick process, taking a long while. But eventually comes back, seeing that you are all covered in grease, maybe got a few bumps and bruises as the fight's gone on. Just, that grin returning, hands on his hips. Oh, look at that. Like they were brand new. They should hire you all for their building services.
That would require staying in one place for too long.
Yes, and quite frankly, um, uh, no offense, but adventuring does tend to pay a little bit better than engineering.
There. Did also speak to the first mate, and just to ensure that any information or anything seen stays between everyone in this room. We have agreed to raise your reward upon arrival by another 50 gold apiece.
I think that's rather fair.
Very much appreciated.
I do like the sound of that.
Yeah, that.
Ah.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
We are all in agreement. We are reaching the halfway point of our journey, and none of you have traveled this way. There is something spectacular for you to. I will kind of gesture you all upwards and make sure everyone gets above deck.
We'll follow.
Yeah.
Or I will follow.
Arshan would follow too.
Kimberlite is intrigued.
Victoria as well.
By this point in the journey, have reached just about the 1 week mark, and being late into the night now, you would expect a lot of the crew, dozing off as they have their typical night shifts, day shifts. But at this moment, the entirety of the crew, chef, first mate, quartermaster, everyone is out up on deck and just staring up into the night sky, just waiting. All make your way up, and the captain just shouts out to the crew. This should be any minute now. Those of you that have seen this before, like myself, can tell you that it's never something that you get used to. It's beautiful every time we pass by. As he says this, and kind of gestures up towards the sky. See the stars all kind of starting to get this shimmer about them. Waves start to streak across the night sky. It's first dull blues and reds. Then as they snake along, streak further across the sky, their colors start to get more vibrant. Just these brilliant colors now snaking their way, odd patterns, all across the night sky above. Very much an aurora borealis effect.
Well, this is good. I thought he was going to bring us up deck and kill us. Valka whispers quietly to Victoria.
I believe, considering we were able to hold our own against black dragons, I think you would have a rather rough go of it.
That is why I said try.
That is the emphasis, dear.
Kimberlight, this nighttime effect, this astral visual effect that's happening above you.
Mm-hmm.
Just feel the connection there. Just almost like this warmth that radiates that probably only you can.
Just smile up at the sky. Possibly, like, go to like the edge, put my arms up, like just basking in the energy.
Start to pass around drinks, dipping into the reserve stash of alcohol, legal or not. One of them does shout out to Valka. Hey, what do you think about playing us a song?
I think I have just the perfect song for this, yes. Roll a performance check, I'm guessing?
Yeah, go for it.
Why do I always get the really good rolls when Valka's singing?
Meant to be. Night sky, a light above you. Timberlights just basking in the energy, and anyone that wants to drink or pass unmarked bottles of some kind of alcohol, enjoying the voice of Valka. a peaceful reprieve. Otherwise, occasionally stressful. Is there anything in this moment that any of you would like to do?
Personally, I am good. Valka is singing. She's happy.
Doria is enjoying vodka singing. She is not drinking, though. Politely refuses.
Arjan would definitely accept a couple drinks and start singing off key.
Naturally.
Yep.
Kimberlite probably wouldn't accept any drinks.
Okay.
And would probably do some kind of like druidic prayer, I guess. Possibly going up to the crow's nest to do so.
Or crow's nest companion from prior to the dragon attacks. If you'll have him, absolutely.
I teach him like the appropriate things to do. As I praise the stars.
Of course, you would know Elliot, one of the younger crew members. Those of you that are witnessing this interaction absolutely notice there is just this puppy-eyed look in Elliot's face as Kimberlite is talking and, showing him all of this. And he seems absolutely smitten.
That's adorable. Valka will start singing a love song.
He's gonna do his...
Can you feel the love tonight?
Oh my god.
Fortunately,
So
with
precious.
a 3, he does seem to be a little distracted and isn't quite as helpful in your prayers you may like, but he's trying.
I appreciate the trying. It's okay. Oh, give him a little tap on his shoulder. Like, there. You got this.
But yeah, there is nothing else. Then the night will eventually come to an end. Aurora Borealis fades in behind you. For the second half of the journey, would someone roll another for me?
I can do it. Or I'll get something pop up in front of my screen when I'm trying to roll. Roll a date.
The winds do kind of cut a little more aggressive than they have been, slowing down the journey by a bit. You are a few days later in arrival in the city of Coel than was originally planned. But nonetheless, end of the second week, actually beautiful coastal city on the horizon. Thanks to your efforts, the automatons do remain dormant for the entire rest of the journey. That is a battle map that I will not get
I'm sorry.
to. Not at all. You love to see investigative work, some well-rolled skip checks. the ship comes into port, the Duchess finally making a landing here in Cowell. The rest of the crew they're all given their shore leave. They're unload what cargo needs to be unloaded, but of course nothing below deck is touched. There are a handful of military officials that come on board and have some private words with the captain. But you guys are, of course, approached by the half-orc first mate, carrying just a few sacks of gold, quite heavy. 200 gold coins. It's kind of a lot.
Old as dense.
But we'll hand each of you a bag, and of course give you just a pat on the shoulder, Arjan. Can't imagine how that would have gone had we not hired some extra protection, but happy to have you along.
And Archan would grasp him by the wrist, by the half, the forearm, say, like the good old days.
Almost. Can't say I ever fought any dragons in the good old days.
Well, details.
Make a hell of a story.
That it will.
Unfortunate that I can't sing it.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
I'll just have to erase part of the story. Oh well.
Well, I don't know if you all are planning on sticking around here for a bit, but depending on where we head next, we might be looking for some more mercenaries to help guard.
There is gold in it. I would not be averse.
Yeah, of course.
And you know me, I'm always happy to help an old friend. And a little bit of coin doesn't hurt.
As
When
far
do
as
we
I
take
know,
off?
we're going to be here in port for a bit, so, no hurry. And with that, you are all released to the coastal trading town of Cowell. The seafaring ships kind of docked in underneath the skyfaring ships. Multiple levels of the city, looking out into fairly flat terrain around it. A former military post. The defenses look solid. But I'll give you guys a chance to do any shore leave activities you want. If there is any final activities, any final actions that any of you would take, floor is yours. 200 gold richer.
Nice. I suppose Victoria, maybe speaking to a greater story going on, is probably going to use that $200 to do a little local investigating, see if there's been any rumors of undead, flesh golems, the like.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
All right.
I mean, at first opportunity, or at first, spark of conversation, most people are just, talking about undead is just, it's kind of not something you do in, the more polite company. but certainly do catch a few of alchemists, maybe not in the city, but nearby cities, are rumored to be working on something like that.
Right, she will keep that in mind at the very least.
Arjan, any downtime activities that you get up to?
Oh, I think the only thing he would be interested in doing, if he's looking at taking another job, from the quartermaster, then he is going to set aside 50 gold of what he got and gamble. See if he can make a little extra scratch, as it were. And he's going to be playing dice because that's what he is used to using with the soldiers, and that's what I have proficiency with.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going to be throwing, shooting craps or what have you, to try and see if he can double his money with 50 gold.
Why don't we go with either a dexterity check or a wisdom check, adding your proficiency bonus?
I will say a wisdom,
Yeah, go
adding
for it.
proficiency, so that's going to be +3. Nope, that's a 5.
These dice rolls.
Man.
I mean, the first night there, still riding that high from the successful journey. Luck's maybe not quite on your side this time, but you have a few days. Still have quite a lot of coin to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Your luck will probably change.
Hey, my luck had me when I was in a fight. Luck doesn't have me now. It is what it is.
Kimberlites, anything, any downtime activities?
Like, if the town had some kind of sorry, the word's escaping me. I could. Nope, it's gone.
Like temple? Grove?
Kind of like a star-centric.
Observatory?
That one. Thank
Yeah.
you. There we
That's
go.
I was just about to
Observatory.
say it.
What are words?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, they absolutely would.
He'd probably go like check it out.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably one of the more advanced observatories. Being an old outpost, there were plenty of means that the guide ships to keep track of movements of stars was a common navigational tool. So yeah.
He'd
Sorry, go ahead.
he'd like go check it out. Maybe see if they had anything that could like he could use, or maybe like books or other pieces of information that could help him with his druidic duties.
Oh, yeah, there's astro charts that they have on hand. Numerous, but they really only encompass this area. So, as kind of like a fair trade, if you want to help them complete more of their star charts, then they will absolutely share everything they have with you.
Yeah, I'd like draw out a few basic star charts.
Absolutely.
Help them fill some pieces in.
Let's go with one final history check from me.
Although, would maps be using like cartographer's tools?
Sure, yeah. Have a more apt skill? Yeah, go for it.
And apparently you don't just take on cartographer's tools to use them.
It should be your wisdom plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so it'd be d20 plus 5.
Oh yeah, amazing work. Like they started out with just like a handful of charts that they were, nothing spectacular, just curious, you help fill in. But then you just like dive in and are working with all of these scholars as if you have been here the entire time, and it is just star poetry in motion.
Wonderful.
And then Valka, any downtime activities?
Well, learning from her past mistake, she's going to buy a bunch of health potions because that was
Good call.
bad idea not to have any. But she's also going to perform some busking, some singing, maybe at taverns if they'll have her,
Yeah.
for some extra coin, because when you have 2 kids, you never seem to have enough coin.
I mean, especially with the fact that all of the sailors that just landed are just spreading absolutely nothing but the absolute best of word of mouth advertisement you could ever ask for. You are welcome to any tavern that you want to play at.
Oh, yay.
Let's go with one final performance check. You have only
Alrighty.
aced so far.
Hopefully I continue to do that.
Yeah.
Oh!
Absolutely amazing. As all of the sailors expected, it is just absolute memorable performance. You can add another 16 gold to your total.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, then as the crew, does what they do, they have their rest, their shore leave. Automatons are unloaded from the ship under the cover of night and taken somewhere deep to the city. But what exactly happens with those, as well as what was brought by the first caravan, first one shot, we'll have to figure that out another time. With potential war on the horizon and tensions rising, who knows what's going to happen? Us to this one. I want to thank all of our viewers for sticking around, for making this a super successful one shot. I think we had up to like 10 viewers at one point, which is just crazy sauce. For watching this VOD afterwards, watching the YouTube video, again, thank you. That just the fact that we can entertain anyone just absolutely makes my day. And maybe consider coming and watching us live next. But now that we have a little bit of extra time, why don't we kind of go around and I'll give you guys a chance to tell the viewers a little about you. Have any projects that you plug? Now's your chance. Yeah, and let's go clockwise this time, and we'll start with right.
Okay. So, looking projects. I'm currently working on some homebrew Goliath races for D&D 5e. Currently working on the illustrations to go with it, but once it's finished, it'll be up on the DM's Guild, and I will be putting the link up to get it on my Twitter, which is Kane Russell Art, which I believe is in my little picture on the stream here.
We'll absolutely plug that our own Twitter and our own Discord channel, which if you're watching and you're not in our Discord channel, just come join us, chat, and have funny memes, and that's where I root some of my one-shot guests. Yeah. And we'll jump on down to Ayrean.
Oh, that was awesome. Just gonna say that was awesome. Thank you all for joining us. I played Arjan. I'm Rob at RPG Theologian on Twitter. You can find me, as I said at the beginning of our session, pretty much every Friday, though we're going to be going on a hiatus for the holidays. You can find me on most Friday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern, at Black Dragon Roleplay. Look for the Black Dragon Eye logo, as we say. Otherwise, I just do one-shots here and there. You know, did a one-shot over on Valdrin's channel, the Raptor Pack. Done some one-shots with Weave the Tale, formerly Encounter Roleplay. And aside from that, I'm actually a full-time PhD student in comparative religion, so I won't bore you with my work over there. on those grounds, it's mostly in comparative religion and environmental ethics, so I'll leave it at that. But
Awesome.
I think it's exciting stuff, but I know most people will say to me, like my partner, what? But otherwise, thank you all for joining us. It was an awesome time. This was an awesome crew.
Jump over to Valka.
Hello, my name is Aya. I play Valka. I'm not doing anything D&D related at the moment, but I plan on doing a few things in the future, so I just have a list of massive things that I'm working on. So I'm working on a radio play for Fallout New Vegas right now, so that would be very cool if you wanted to check it out, if it's something that's up your alley. I'll also be working on a horror-themed augmented reality game, and then following that, we will be working on the backstory and story of Valka as a comic book. So that's exciting. I'm D&D Nerd 4's daughter. People seem to know him very well. I don't know. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Nice to meet you.
Awesome projects. Yeah, absolutely. Go out. Then last but not least, Victoria.
Hello, I am Steve. I was so happy to play Victoria Stitch. I love playing her kind of character of, kind but vaguely threatening. So I occasionally pop up over on Penny for Tale and or Weave the Tale, kind of wherever I can have some fun with TTRPG. I tend to gravitate towards those. I'm also working on codifying a homebrew setting for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. concerning a world in which the surface races and ancestries and civilizations are now essentially refugees in the Underdark after a surface-wide apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go check
Have
that
I
out
mentioned
too.
I like the way you think?
Unintended, you just blew my mind with that.
Yeah, very
I
cool.
like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's a fun setting. Been playing it with my D&D 5e crew for about 2 years now.
All right. Yeah, I am Andrew, games master for the evening. I of course run the game here on our Twitch channel for the Lost Caravan, play Pathfinder 2nd Edition every Saturday morning, and are currently traipsing across Cheliax and a mission of revenge, enlightenment. So all our previous games are up on YouTube. Go check those out and then catch us live. But I want to give a massive thank you to all the players here. We started this whole journey as strangers, but I mean, for my personal view, I consider you all friends and love to have you guys back on the channel.
Whenever you want, I'll be
Yep,
honored
would
to be
definitely
here.
love to be back and can't wait. Actually, can't wait for Pathfinder 2e next week.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, but that I will say heartfelt goodbye, good night. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye!
Good night.
Bye.